I don't want to miss this opportunity to go back for a second, Des, if that's okay, to Dale's example, because you just went straight into the heart of my current research, and I can't let that opportunity go. Your example of praying with the patient, and I want to expand. I know that the audience of this program, they love to read. So if you type in Illueca and prayer, I hope you can type my name in Google, you'll get my paper. But after I left the pharmaceutical industry and went back to study theology in preparation for ordination, I also did a master's in pain medicine, pain research education policy at Tufts University School of Medicine. And my thesis was on the use of prayer in the management of pain. It was a systematic review of the medical literature. And I won't give it away. I won't take the chance from you to read the paper because it's published. But the point of my research is personal prayer. And what is personal prayer? From the point of view of the patient, that is the prayer that the patient does or that we do with the patient. It's not prayer that you do distantly. That's a different thing. The distant intercessory prayer, that's different. This is the personal prayer. And they'll illustrate it perfectly because sometimes the patient may not be the one voicing the prayer, but they will be with you listening to the prayer. And there is data. There's a beautiful set of studies that show the beneficial effects in people with pain, beneficial effects of prayer, personal prayer, in pain tolerance, pain intensity. Pain coping is the big thing here, pain coping. And then the content of the prayer. What is the patient asking for regarding
Marta,
their pain?
I want to get into some specifics on this too, and really want to talk about the bedside tool that you've been involved in your research. But now for a second, I'm going to play devil's advocate, okay? No pun intended. But, you know, I was at a conference in December, and there was a topic that was presented, which I thought was outstanding. And it was about managing pain using virtual reality, putting on goggles and having, you know, there's been significant decrease in people's perception of pain while undergoing like a minor procedure, like a debridement, that type of thing, where they're distracted. So how do you kind of combat somebody or go against somebody who says, well, what they're experiencing is just a distraction if they're praying or you're teaching them to pray? What difference is virtual reality from prayer in managing pain?
Wouldn't there be some release of endorphins and things like that? That's probably in your paper, I'm sure. It seems to me there must be some scientific basis.
Prayer does not work through the opioid pathways. So it really does not seem to be a placebo effect. Anyhow, that's not my paper, but it's in my paper. It's a study by Jagindo's group. But what you're describing, Desmond, is coping strategies. Distraction is a coping strategy. Prayer is another coping strategy. Distraction, you take your mind off the pain, whether it's virtual reality, a good movie, somebody singing to you, you know, your mind gets off the pain, you know. But prayer is about your pain. So you're not getting distracted. You're focusing on your pain and you're praying about it. Now, there are different kinds of prayer. So yeah, if you open the Bible or a sacred book of any religion and you read in the Bible example, let's say the Psalms, that could act as a distraction because maybe you didn't pick the Psalm that talks about your pain. But the personal prayer that I'm studying, the petitionary prayer, is what the person is asking God or a higher power or the universe to do for them in alleviating their pain. And what's happened is that I'm collaborating with a clinical psychologist, Dr. Samantha Mines, at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. And we have created a scale to measure the content of petitionary prayer because Dr. Mines' early research showed that what is called active prayer, which is what makes you get off your seat. Or I don't want to talk like a gastroenterologist, so getting off the sofa and start doing things. You ask God to give you the means, the tools, the energy, the ideas to overcome your pain. That would be active prayer, and it will get you off your feet, you know. But if you pray for God to come and take away your pain, then you're not going to be very proactive about it. You're going to probably sit and wait. And as a coping skill, that would be maladaptive. If what you're using to cope with your pain gives you more inactivity or contributes to your depression about it or your hopelessness about it, then as much as I love prayer, that kind of prayer would not be very helpful to you, because you would get into this cycle of inactivity. And then we got the people who meditate. That's what we call the neutral prayer. And the people, the meditators, the mindfulness people, you know, the yoga people who say, well, I'm going to ask the universe to get things going for me and heal me. That's neutral prayer. So my creation with Dr. Minds of this scale, which is called prayers with 2 P's, because 1 piece for pain, is going to be the basis of a prayer tool, what I'm calling the bedside prayer tool. Out of that scale, and we have the statistics now, and it's going to be a validated scale, validated according to the protocols of structural equation modeling. So this is not just an arbitrary validation. This is according to a statistical protocol. Then we're going to have the tool, which is going to allow people to take a look at how they pray. And if they are using passive prayer, we're going to invite them, right? We're never going to tell somebody not to pray. That's not the idea. You're going to tell them, hey, you seem to be using a passive type of prayer. Why don't you build up your prayer practice or your meditational practice and use some active type of prayers? So that's kind of like the big picture of this tool, which we're going to be rolling out in the next couple of months.
Thank you so much for joining us for this discussion today. If you would like to learn more about our guests, head on over to our Patreon page where you can access exclusive content, including the full segment of our show. Never want to miss an Inside the Doctor's Lounge clip? Be sure to click the subscribe button to our MD Coach's YouTube channel. As always, we appreciate suggestions for future show topics. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments below. And finally, special thanks to Ryan Jones, who created and performs our theme music for the show.